This series started a bit flaky for me, but after I watched the special for the first season, it kind of grew on me. Like, it improved a lot. Hello everyone, welcome to the Weeb initiative. I'm your host, the Weeb. This is the show where every other week I'll be talking about anime, manga, and everything in between. This week I'll be talking about, following our last episode, the second season of D4DJ All mix. Also, I'll be mentioning the special for the first season that I didn't mention in the first review, D4DJ Double Mix. That is the prelude to the second season, and I will explain why. But first, some disclaimers, spoiler alert. I'll be talking about most of the things that happened in this season, although I'm not entering many details, somewhat. And for the second disclaimer, again, this is about the special for the first season and then the second season. I will not be talking about D4DJ Petit Mix nor the mangas, because for this review I don't think they are really relevant given everything. And also a huge disclaimer at the start, I did not play and don't intend to play the mobile game because I don't really like rhythm games. So that is basically it. I don't know any of the lore, if there is lore for this whole series, so bear with me on this one. So those are the disclaimers. After that, let's get to the stats. So as I said last time, D4DJ is a multimedia kind of project done by Bushiroad. It initially started in 2020 with both the manga, the mobile game, and the first season of the anime First Mix that was released in 2020 and then in 2021. Then we got the special called Double Mix, and then the Petit Mix, some other mangas in between, and finally in January 2023 we had D4DJ All Mix, and it ended in March 2023. It has 12 episodes, no specials, and from this point on we can assume no real continuation for the anime, although a bit of a spoiler for this review, if they eventually released another season, I would not mind watching it, because as we'll explain a bit later, I began to kind of enjoy this a whole lot, because at some point this anime is just really cute, and at the same time I really like the whole music scene, the songs and everything that they do. So in a way, if they did another season, you're fully welcome. That being said, let's start with the story. So, different from the first season that we focused mainly on Happy Ara, or Happy Around, the group made by our first four heroines, Maho, Rinko, Muni, and Rei. We and the other units, Piki and Photo Maiden, we now pan out a bit to actually talk about the other three units that compose the series and are actually mentioned in the first season. But before I even start with talking about the other three guys, I need to talk about a bit of Double Mix, because Double Mix was a special that they released, I think, in mid-2022. And Double Mix, I need to actually talk about it because I think it really sets up the second season. Double Mix was released in August 2022. It is just one episode of 30 minutes, 24 minutes if you don't count the ads, but it is just a normal episode, but it sets up an idea that the second season will take on. That is the simple story of two of the units that at that point we did not know a lot about, Mermaid and Rondo, and how they join up to make a joint show, a joint concert, a joint live, whatever you want to call it. And basically it dives a bit, let's say a bit deep on the main characters for those two units. In the case of Mermaid, it is Rika, and in the case of Rondo, it's Tsubaki. And basically it shows a bit of different setup, different type of writing that the the first season had, because it is just a really, let's say, a shallower story overall, as in it doesn't really get too deep in the details, but at the same time it has those emotional kind of moments, emotional beats. It has a bit of a backstory for each of them, because at this point we already got one whole season talking about mainly one group that was happy around and showing off both Piki Piki and Photomede on the side, and now we are basically giving more of a limelight for the other groups in this universe. That being said, we get a bit of backstory with the two groups. We see how they basically work, how Mermaid works against how Rondo works, and how they basically don't fit really well together in terms of style and theming, because Rondo is really geared more towards a kind of rock, and they only do lives on a specific club inside the city, and while Mermaid is a group of they don't actually mention this, okay, but I'm assuming basically college students, and they have a different theming altogether, different kind of modus operandi, let's say a MO, and basically we get to know their connection really, because apparently Rika and Tsubaki are childhood friends, and so there is this whole flashback scene, the whole building up of, oh, let's do it, and then they have an emotional moment. It does not bring, let's say, big stakes to the table, but at the same time it is emotional enough so you can actually kind of build a kind of connection, let's say. You can actually relate to them in a way. And personally, and this is on me really, I kind of fell in love with this series from this point on, because by the end of the episode they actually show off insert song called Fake Off, and it is collaboration between Mermaid and Rondo, and I fucking loved Tsubaki's voice. Oh my god. I checked her VA, Kato Rihona. I think I'm pronouncing this right. She just has the experience on D4DJ, and before that, Kemono Friends 2. And I just want to say, I don't know about any other of her projects as a VA, but in singing the whole thing, oh my god, I love her voice. And that together with the fact that the song is pretty nice too, kind of gave me a bit of uplift, let's say. It really opened my eyes to what this series could be, because as I said in the first season, it felt like they were trying to flesh out way too much of the vocalists. In a way, they really toned back the instrumentals for the songs and boosted the vocals. When you kind of go search for the same song, let's say on Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, whatever, Bandcamp, and you listen to it, it is actually different the way they mix it. And so I really thought that they kind of did a bit dirty on the songs for the first season. This special especially, it signs off on a new kind of direction, and basically they are going to just play the songs as is, or really just don't leave it so apparent that they are boosting the vocals, let's say. From there, this is my experience with Double Mix, that is the special. And basically they take the ending of this one episode where one of the members of another unit, the unit's called Lyrical Lily or Lily, and Mio, she watches the concert and becomes inspired with the combination of two different aesthetics overall, two different groups with different aesthetics to actually do something new and something so good. And basically this kicks off the second season when they we have like the second season, and this is where I need to talk a bit about this. The second season starts with a whole new perspective. Our main focus this time is on the girls from Lyrical Lee. They go to all girls school, a Catholic school, so they have mass on the morning and they need to go to chorus and pray before meals and so on and so forth. They don't actually show much of it. They show some snippets of it just to give the context with, but at the same time they have this unit and they develop kind of some stuff. With that said, the first thing that sets up the whole season in the first episode is the fact that one of them is kind of contacted by the Chamber of Commerce of the city. I don't actually remember the name of the city or any of those small details because it doesn't really matter for the explanation or the ongoing of the story, but they are contacted by the Chamber of Commerce and are invited to a plan to revitalize the town and the shopping district overall. And in that, they come up with the idea of basically having one concert of a unit in each of the months. So basically, they end up calling every one of the girls previously mentioned. So we have 6 groups. So we have from the first season Piki Piki, Happyara, and Photo Maiden. And now from the second season, we have Rondo, Didi and Mermaid. And from then on, the first episode ends with insert song from Piki Piki, a new song that we didn't actually listen to in the first season, without much, let's say, fanfare behind it, because the first episode is just about creating and calling up everyone to join up this project. The second episode goes through them actually recording and editing a kind of commercial for the kind of video to post on the internet for the concerts and the project of revitalization. And that's the second episode doesn't actually have an insert song. That's the point I'm trying to make. And from the third episode forward to I think the 6th episode, we have each episode is focused on a different unit, their kind of internal struggle with something, and basically how they end up creating a new song for this project and the concert they have to make. In all the episodes, they are really well done, I would say. The episodes they go in a chronological order and they don't actually try to do anything fancy with it, but it is interesting to say, and actually it's kind of important for the continuity of the story, that they are really spaced out in time because they each cover a month. So you need to actually think that they actually had a whole lot of time between everything, and the girls actually need a lot of time to actually do stuff. And so the third episode, first actual episode that we have this build up on, is Didi and how they want to actually try something new and kind of be forthcoming with this whole project because they are the ones who called up everyone. Then from then on, we have an episode about Rondo in the 4th episode, and this is the part where everything kind of came together, let's say, for me at the very least, because in this one episode, Tsubaki, that's the vocalist from Rondo, goes to the coffee shop they always go to actually talk to the let's say the waitress there, the one behind the bar, let's say. And she's called Airi. She's actually kind of older sister figure, more or less. She trained Tsubaki in singing and so on and so forth. There's this whole flashback scene, kind of little explanation they do. And in her, she is a supporting character that was present in the first season, but at the time she didn't actually have that many lines and not anything that was relevant. When I watched this episode, I was thinking to myself, I know, like, hearing her, I was like, I think I know this voice, but I can't actually put my finger on it. And I just stopped the episode, like, looking around, and I was like, oh my god, it can't be. It's Nana Mizuki again. Like, what the fuck, man? I swear I'm not chasing her, but it is way too perfect in my mind that I just stumbled on one of her most recent appearances in anime, and in an anime about music. So it kind of blew my mind at this point, because Nana Mizuki, to those who don't know, she's Hinata in Naruto, the Japanese voice for Hinata in Naruto, and Boruto. At this point, she's working still on Boruto. She's Tsubasa in Symphony Gear. She's Erina in White Album. Oh my god, she's present in a whole lot of anime openings, and so I love her. That's the thing. With that said, okay, so she was doing a supporting character for this anime that I didn't actually know she was on, and when I saw that, it kind of blew my mind and kind of got me even closer to this anime in an emotional sense, let's say. And from then on, we get this backstory about how Aoi is the DJ for Rondo, where Tsubaki is the vocalist, and Aoi is the kind of androgynous kind of character, so she's the cool kind of really close in appearance at the really to a guy. So there's this whole thing, and there is a kind of they kind of force a whole lot of ships with her specifically, and the whole thing kind of plays around with this concept for the most part. And in most of the scenes, I think that this is fully intended. When she's talking to Tsubaki, Aoi and Tsubaki look like husband and wife in most sense, because they talk way too much about the future of the group and how they want to actually change and do something different. And this is the struggle that they put themselves on, because at this point they only do concerts on inside Alter Ego, that is the club that's some members only 18 plus club, and at this point they want to actually change their style and change the way they do stuff. So there's this whole kind of question of what will they do now they are in this project, and they see a new horizon of people doing different stuff than the same scene they have been on for the longest time, and so on and so forth. And it is pretty nice the way they actually present this whole thing, and in a way because again, I really like their song. I really like Tsubaki as vocalist for most of the songs, so it is a really nice episode in a way. And they come up with the song, they kind of show off a bit of the stuff of the club and so on and so forth. And especially I need to give a shout out the manager for the club. I really think she's a reference to Majima Goro from the Yakuza series, but the female version of him. I'm pretty sure that's the case, but I cannot really confirm it. I don't know. I don't know if it's intended. I don't know if it is just an Easter egg, but it feels way too much like him. I mean, there's no Kiryu-chan in this anime for that to happen, but you know, the appearance is way too close. And with that tangent aside, when we get to the 5th episode, it is an episode about Mermaid and how Erika, in her extreme, let's say, outgoingness, let's say she's really an extrovert and she can talk to anyone, do stuff, even though there are, let's say, language barriers between them sometimes. She actually got in touch and she kind of became friends with a really well-known producer, biggest producer in the world, and so on and so forth. And she kind of gets their DJ Saori can actually collab with this producer to actually make the new song for their concert. And so we have this whole thing where Saori kind of gets a really big focus on this episode, being not really the main character for Mermaid as a whole. She gets a really big focus being someone that studies a lot and pushes herself a lot and puts a lot of pressure on herself to do a good job. And the whole episode kind of leans on the idea of expressing oneself and not really trying to look good for anyone else, and it kind of gets to that point in a really nice way. The one highlight for this episode, outside from the song is pretty good too. All the songs in this anime, I think, were pretty good, except the last one, but we get there. The thing that really blew my mind in this one was when they actually go on a call with this producer. I think that I didn't actually mention it, but she's American, and so she just speaks in English, and Saori doesn't know English, so she needs to actually learn English and does stuff. But the thing is, right, when the girl comes on talking in English, you can clearly hear the Japanese accent, and lo and behold, right, I was thinking who they could have gotten to actually do this English speaking person, because she just speaks in English for the whole duration, and she speaks a good English, all things considered. The thing is, the accent gives off that they didn't actually get someone that speaks English as mother language to actually do it, and the voice kind of seemed really familiar to me in a way. And the thing is, right, digging around a bit, it is her VA is Uchida Shu, who is Mia Taylor in Love Live Nijigasaki. So it just one more of those cases that, oh my god, I know that voice, I love this show. I can't, man, it was really, really, I would not say touching, but it felt really right, because I listen to Nijigasaki on a really regular basis, all things considered. Nijigasaki is, as I said on my review on Nijigasaki, best Love Live I ever watched. I'm really waiting to them to bring the movie to the West, because I really want to watch it. But it's not here nor there. The thing is, another one of the voice actresses that I know and I like. It's really nice to actually see her working. And again, she just speaks in English for the whole duration of her appearance. It's really interesting the way they do it. And this goes to a thing I want to talk a bit more later, but they really outdid themselves on the way they do everything in this one season. Because I think in everything, really, they actually improved on every single point that they could. Everything in this anime, I think it is better. It's strictly better than the first season. It is an improvement on all fronts, and I think that's commendable, because they actually did something really nice with this whole thing. But that's for later. So the fifth episode is this episode about Mermaid, and so they present the song. It's good, but not something that I would say it's, oh my god, it's the best song ever. I still prefer Ronaldo, but that's another thing. Then the sixth episode, they kind of, I think someone and I'm not accusing anyone, and I don't know how things work, but someone used a bit too much Zaza before entering the office that day to pitch the idea for this episode, because episode 6 is it's like the point where Happy Ara needs to actually do the concert, and the episode kind of starts normal and everything goes well to a certain point, I think 2 minutes in, when it is raining and we find out that Maho actually didn't attend school one of these days, and so everyone presumes that she has a cold or is working her ass off with the new song. We, as the viewers, see that she's actually under the weather. She has a cold and everything, and having a fever. She has a dream where they don't actually explain in the episode when the dream is happening and when it's not. We can kind of guess from the pinpoints and everything, but the thing is, right, the dream goes in a certain way, and basically, right, the thing is, I can't really explain this episode without giving too many spoilers, but the dream goes a certain way. She actually finds out how to do something, and while the girls outside of the dream, they notice how much they depend on Maho to everything to work, and so they start working for themselves to actually do things that they need to actually do the set list, prepare the theming, prepare new song ideas, and so on and so forth. And so they kind of try to spread out the things that Maho does that shouldn't or don't need to be her only obligations. And while that's going, Maho still is inside this dream for the length of the episode, really. And when she wakes up, in the dream, she can only speak and write in English, although she can understand Japanese for some reason. And the whole dream sequence is really strange, it's really weird. And especially the ending for the episode. The song is pretty nice, but the ending for the episode is really disturbing. And I will just say, without actually giving any spoilers, but I see what they tried to do with the visuals, but I think they went a bit too far. And it kind of becomes a bit way too terrifying for me to watch, let's say. And I can't really say why they did this, because at the same time that it feels kind of fitting for the theming of the episode, the whole thing kind of feels wrong in a way, because it feels like either this was to promote a kind of an event inside the game, or it was released on Halloween. But at the same time, it was not released on Halloween. The whole thing went through January to March. There's no Halloween there. So I hazard a guess that this was to promote something inside the game. I can't really know for sure. But the thing is, the ending for this one episode, it's really strange. I can't really say what the hell just happened. And then we go to the 7th episode, where the last of the concerts kind of is going to happen in a normal pace. That is Photomaiden. Photomaiden, they at this point they didn't actually have much of the limelight, much of the focus for this season. So we have this whole thing where the girls are trying to reimagine themselves because they actually want to do something different. And this goes back to the thing where their DJ Saki, that is the main girl for Photomaiden, she is kind of way too much of a creative, let's say, and she has this whole thing where she mixes sounds with colors, so everything that she hears basically has a color and so on and so forth. And she talks much like this for the whole extent of the show. Whenever she comes on camera, she talks about colors when talking about sounds. And one of the things that she has, that she wants to explore new colors, and so for that to be a thing, Photomaiden needs to actually evolve from their initial image. And the whole episode is about creating their own image and promoting this idea that they are not locked in to a single image, single idea, single theme, and they can actually explore other stuff. And it is really cute how they go about in this episode, because it is something really mature in a way. It's really something really adult-like to actually chase stuff, and that they actually need to kind of, in a way, confront, let's say, an actual corporate presentation and do something like that. And at the same time, we see that they lose themselves in trying to beat the corporate ladder in their own game. So there's that. And it feels really nice the way they deal with everything. The whole thing about expressing oneself is really fleshed out, and the whole thing that feels really concise, really well curated in a way, and it is really cute. I'll talk more about the cuteness in this season a bit later, but easy to say, a really nice episode. The song, I would not say it's for my taste. I think it's okay, and this goes on to be the same thing for the rest of the season. Actually, the rest of the songs are not really my style, but most of them are pretty okay. Then from the, I think, 8th to 9th episode, we have a whole 2 episodes arc about collaboration between Photomaiden and DDD, and it's pretty nice, pretty cutesy, and the song's actually pretty okay. Then 10th and 11th episode is, I think, the cathartic collaboration, let's say, in a way. That is the collaboration between Piki Piki and Hapiara. We have especially and this is the thing, especially there is a real highlight for Shinobu. Shinobu is the DJ for Piki Piki, that she's for the most part one of those. She's like the edgy character more or less for this whole thing, and it's so cute. It's so cute. But then they come out with the song. The song's actually pretty nice. And then the 12th episode is the last episode where the girls actually need to actually do a last concert for the New Year. And so between a whole lot of struggles and difficulties with getting a stage and the fact that the new stage has limitations on size, they each choose one member of their respective units to participate on it, and they have a special song featuring the 6 units all together. Obviously the main girls from each unit appear, so there's that, and that's basically the whole season, really. I need to actually point out that the last episode has flashes of 3 different, let's say, units by the end that I don't know what the hell they are. They are not mentioned anywhere else in the whole anime, but much like in the ending of the first season where 3 random guys appear in the cafe, the 3 flashes, I think they are an Easter egg for the guys who actually play the game, or like, I don't know, hints or maybe ideas for the next seasons if they actually happen. I would really, and talking about already my opinion, I really like this anime, and again, if they did another season of this, I would not mind at all. This anime is really nice, and now I need to tell you why, right? So, talking about the whole set of improvements, that the animation is really way better. I would not say it's perfect by any stretch. The 3D is still a bit of jarring stuff to watch. In a way, I think that's personal, really, but they did something, and I can't really pinpoint what, but the animation is really well done. It is astounding how much they improved it from the first season. The animation overall was pretty nice. The art style became sharper, and in being sharper, I think they actually improved. They give the impression that the animation is better because the art style is sharper, so it feels more like you're watching a normal anime that is in 2D rather than 3D. Although it's still 3D, you can actually clearly see it, but the impression that it gives, given some and most, let's say, of the scenes, is that it is a normal anime. There are scenes that I actually got kind of confused whether it was 2D or 3D. It felt really strange, but at the same time really nice, because as I said, their style improved, the animation improved, so it felt really nice. Not only that, but the art style in terms of color, in terms of design, the girls, it became a bit shinier, not in the way that it became saturated, but the girls all have flares, let's say. It's really weird to talk about this without an actual visual example, but there are little details that they add, little highlights that there were not in the first season, that really add up to bringing more life to the girls and actually giving more of a nice style for the art overall. With that said, also, oh man, there are so many things that I need to talk about. The new girls that are mentioned, the 3 new units that we didn't talk about in the first season. So Rondo, Mermaid, and Ririri, they are really, really interesting to watch, really. Ririri, I would give the judgment that it is not for me. Their aesthetic and their songs are not for me, really. I think it's kind of bland, let's say, but that's just me, and goes to show the thing that I was talking about in the first season. Depending on how much you like the songs, I think the grade that you give this anime changes, and this is also one of the parts where I thought the first anime was more limited in the way that they did it, because in just focusing in Happy Ara, I think they limited how much another person could like it, because you either like it or you don't, and given that you are locked into one single unit, there is a certain, let's say, style that you can't really run away from. And so if the person doesn't like the style, you're basically screwed on that regard. But now focusing on multiple people, multiple units with different aesthetics, different styles, and so on and so forth, it really shines a light in different parts that you can actually kind of get something that you like, create a connection. And in doing that, they actually expanded really well the way that they do storytelling, because in a way, again, the stories are a bit shallower, the things are not really well explained, so things are just hand-waved and whatever. But at the same time, and this is another improvement that I really like, they leaned towards a really more cute kind of side for this whole thing, and they kind of did away with the pointless conflicts that they had in the first season. Because here's the thing, right? So you have one episode to explain each of the units, and for the most part you need to actually think that most people that watch this didn't actually play the game. So if there is lore behind it, people don't actually know it. But at the same time, what they did was really nice, because they focused on a simple yet relatable kind of conflict for each of the units, and it feels like a really good payoff that each of the stories end up culminating in them creating a new song. And bonus point, because most of the songs are pretty nice, but basically the whole thing kind of works out way better than the first season, because again, they focus on conflicts that are real, and the theme is really well centered from the beginning, so you can actually feel like each of the episodes are not really like things that have cause and a consequence, but they are actually side stories, because each of these people see the same thing differently, and how each of them becomes to a solution to the same problem overall, and how each of them have nuances in their own problem. And this goes to the next point that I want to make, that oh my god, this anime is so cute, because from the get-go, the interactions, and I think that this is a pinpoint on Lily, because they are really cute and the aesthetic is all cutesy stuff. Every one of the interactions, the whole script of this thing is geared towards being cute. So any interaction between the girls from the same unit or different unit, it's really nice. The way that Tsubaki, and again, I like Tsubaki a lot as a character, and I like Rondo as, you know, their song and so on and so forth. But when Riri goes to do their concert, they do a Hinamatsuri festival of dolls for the 24 people that are there, the 6 units, and oh my god, it's such a cute scene when each of the girls they're doing their little crochet, I think it's crochet, I don't know, they're stitched dolls. It's really cute, and Tsubaki is doing hers, and it's really nice, it's really cutesy. And then the girls join up, everyone, the 24 dolls, and then at the very top there is Mooney and the little cat. I don't actually remember the name of the guy, whatever. But then there's this one scene that she's not like the position, because she's the queen, and then the cat's the emperor, and she changes the cat for Rinku, and this calls back to the fact that Woody really likes Rinku, and the sheep is really there, and oh my god, it's really nice, it's really cute. I can't really like give a good example for it, because I don't want to enter that much detail, but it is really nice the way they do it. Everything is so well placed just to be cute, and it feels really nice. The way Tsubaki and Rinka talk about stuff, it's really nice, because Tsubaki, whenever she blushes, it's really cute. And then when we're talking about Photomate, for example, they are all cute, and Saki especially is really cute because she blushes, and the whole thing kind of, it's really nice, okay? The whole thing is really nice. Again, I will keep using the same word, and I've already like lost the meaning for this, but it's really adorable. The whole thing, it's adorable. It's just, and this is a thing, it's simple and it's effective. It's just a bunch of girls doing DJing, and that's it. I know it is generalist. It is like a kind of, I'm not trying to undersell the work that each of the artists did for this anime, but it is to say that they actually got their focus point and actually did something with it, because the whole thing is cute. They know that they don't need to actually do a bunch of lore dumps and give a lot of context to many of the girls, because for the most part everyone just focuses on one for each unit. Each unit has let's say a mascot, a symbol, someone that is the representative, and so much so that the last episode is the combination of this whole thing, because each of them is a representative of each of the units presented, and they just do slice of life stuff, so much so that after the 7th episode, where Photomedia does their concert, and they start this like, let's do a little collaboration here and there and so on and so forth, the whole thing kind of becomes a whole slice of life. Some things straight out grabbed from Love Live, really. Field trips and so on and so forth. Talking about random stuff. When Piki Piki is about to do the collaboration with Hapiara, and Shinobu goes to sleep with Kyoko, and she wakes up with Kyoko by her side. It's, oh my god, it's really cute. It's fucking cute, my god. The whole thing kind of is really adorable. It's really nice to watch. It feels great. That's it's like peak for this series. It's nice to watch. Girls being cute and then good electronic music. That's peak D4DJ right there. And just some pointers I want to make before wrapping this whole thing up, because at this point I repeated the word cute so many times I don't actually remember what it means. So some things that I want to point out, it is, I really liked the opening. My Hime is really nice. The ending, I don't actually have the name here. I probably write it on the description for the show. Really liked it too. It is, the opening is more of a melodic kind of house, and the ending, I would say it's kind of electro swing. It has the same beat, but I don't actually know if it evolves into it or the intro is just a fake out. All the songs are pretty great. A special shout out again to the Mermaid and Rondo collab, Fake Off. It is a really nice song, really liked it. The riff from the guitar, the instrumental from the synth, it's really, really well done. And again, I loved Tsubaki on a way, and I need to actually address this a bit, because I love her style. Their costume while on stage is something that really grips on me. It's a style that I really think is really elegant, really stylish for me personally, and Tsubaki especially. And this is a thing, right? When I saw, there is one scene in the special double mix that she's walking on the street when some fans are talking about them without actually noticing her. Looking at her, and this is a reference that just works on me, really. She really looked like one of the characters that you could create on God Eater 3, and I swear to God I had that character, and I can actually like pinpoint where each of the pieces of clothing and hair accessories and stuff fall into to actually rebuild her in that game. And in a way, this kind of feels like, what the fuck am I talking about? But I love her style. I love her design, the whole thing. Her backstory, I would say it's pretty fitting in a way, and kind of fits on the idea that she has kind of a difficult time to actually push forward with change and stuff, and actually needs to lean on Aoi to actually push them forward and do something else. And again, love her voice. So that's about it. The whole thing, again, I loved this anime. This anime really, really vibed with me. I really liked it. I don't know what they did. I really don't. But it felt so much better. So much better in so many ways. Now, and I need to actually address this. Is this an idol anime? Kinda, more or less. Again, if you squint your eyes a bit and kind of focus on certain parts, I think you could say that this is an idol anime. It's marked as idol on my anime list. I will not say that's the only reason, but you could say this is an idol anime. I'm pretty sure about that. And with that said, before I start yapping again, thank you guys for listening, thank you guys for watching. Please like, please share, please follow, depending on the platform you're in. And I hope you stick around for next time. Bye.